Logic's drummer gives us a lot of flexibility in terms of controlling the feel of the groove. Click on the Details button down here, and we have a feel knob where we can have the groove play slightly ahead or behind of the beat, and this really influences the feel of the overall music. So here's a little simple exercise with the feel knob straight up the center and a fairly straight, rhythmic, funky type of accompaniment. So it sounds nice, works well. If I dial up the push knob, we'll get it to be slightly ahead of the beat, and it'll give a bit more of a driving, kind of assertive feel, more urgency to the music. Just slightly more exciting, keeps you a bit more on the edge of your seat, whereas dialing it back and having it play slightly behind gives it more of a relaxed feel, but with the funkiness of the other parts, I think it kind of has this feeling of holding back the excitement and energy that adds its own kind of excitement. It makes the other instruments feel a little bit more exciting. So let's look a bit more closely at what exactly is happening when we dial this knob back and forth. I'm going to snap this to the center, and I'm going to bounce this in place, and we'll call this the straight feel. And I'm going to leave all the plugins in, and we'll mute the original. Okay, great. Now let's go back to our drummer track, unmute it for a moment, and go back to Details, and we'll put this ahead. And now let's bounce this one. I find we need to push it a little bit more to really hear the results, whereas pulling, we get the results a little more subtly, so we don't have to dial it down as much. But I'm going to dial this up a fair bit, and we're going to bounce this in place again, and I'll call it push. Great, and one more time, I'm going to unmute this, and we'll dial this one back now. Let's say till about there, so we can really explore the difference. And you saw the notes shift in there as I did that. And let's bounce this in place. And we'll call this pull. Okay, so let's close up the editor here, and let's look at what's going on. So we have straight, push, and pull. I'm going to zoom way in, and we'll go right to, let's say, the backbeat. And we can see here that on the straight feel, the backbeat is right on. There, it's lined up right with the grid. With the push one, we can see it's starting a little bit before. And with the pull one, it's a little bit late, a little bit after. So this is one beat in isolation, but if we go to any of the individual beats, we'll kind of see a similar type of distinction between the different pushing, pulling, and straight feels. For example, let's look at a kick drum hit. Here's beat 3. And again, I'm going to just zoom in. And we can see here the straight feels right on. And this one pushed is a little bit ahead and pull a little bit behind, meaning starting a bit later. So let's listen with these different feels and see what they impart to the music now that we see what's happening here. So I'm going to turn these two off, and we'll start with the straight feel. Push. As we expect, a little more energy, and pull. Makes the other instruments sound like they're grooving and exciting. Let's listen with the click in isolation. So here's the straight one with the click, and of course it'll be right on. Let's just solo these. Push. So you can hear it slightly ahead of the click. And slightly behind. So that's yet another way to customize Drummer to suit the feel of your music. This is Eli Kranzberg signing out. I'll see you for more next time.